Welcome back, where every room holds a story, and tonight's story is one that stays with you. If you're new here, welcome. I'm happy to have you. Please follow, like, comment, share. If you're returning, you're a follower, welcome back. So tonight, our story is going to be a little bit different. I've been following this case for a little while, and this is the case of Makayla Meave. This one's heavy. It's about devotion, heartbreak, a mother's instinct, and a detective who refused to stop until Makayla came home. Let's begin. When you arrive in this quiet part of Oklahoma, it feels peaceful, almost comforting. Open land, still roads, a calm sky. But underneath all that stillness are secrets, missing people, cold cases, families left without answers. And when someone goes missing out here, there's one person you pray gets the call, and that's Lieutenant Dakota Black, a trained tracker, a seasoned investigator, and honestly, one of the biggest badasses to ever pin on a badge. When Dakota takes a case, she does not back down. She will track footprints, drag marks, snapped branches, anything nature leaves behind, and she will not stop until the truth is dug out of the dark. So when a 30-year-old teacher's aide, Makayla Meave, vanished, Dakota hit the ground running, boots in the mud, eyes sharp, heart locked in. She said from the beginning she wasn't searching for someone who walked away. She feared she was searching for a body. Before we dive deeper, I want to tell you who Makayla really was, because she mattered, and her story deserves care. She grew up around children. Her mom ran a daycare. So loving kids wasn't something she learned, it was part of her. Even when life told her she couldn't have biological children, she refused to let that be the end of her story. She fostered, she adopted. She built a home for two little ones who needed her. Everyone who knew her said the same thing. She had the biggest heart in any room she walked into. Friday, September the 15th, 2023, started just like any other day. Makayla called her sister, Andrea, at 7 a.m. every day. It was their thing. They talked, they laughed, and before hanging up, they told each other, "I love you." Andrea didn't know that would be the last time she heard her sister's voice. The next morning, Andrea's phone rang at the same time, but it wasn't Makayla. It was her husband, Frank. He was hysterical, crying, screaming, claiming Makayla didn't come home. He said she left the night before with a bald man in a white truck. That she hugged him, got in, and drove away. Andrea didn't panic at first. Makayla and Frank were separated, living on the same property but in different homes. But as calls went unanswered, her heart sank. By noon, she knew something was wrong. Makayla's mother, Barbara, felt it too. Makayla's never missed work. She never ignored calls, and she was supposed to help at the family restaurant that day. When she didn't show, Barbara's stomach dropped. Frank officially reported her missing at 4 p.m. Deputies arrived, and immediately things felt off. He claimed they were in an open marriage and that she left on a date, that he didn't have the key to her place. None of it lined up with what her family knew. Deputies found red flags in Frank's story. Deputy Richardson returned later and found Frank had broken into Makayla's living space with a hammer. Inside, empty 22 shell cases. Frank said she shot at animals. Detectives wasn't buying that, especially when the gun in his home looked recently fired. The case was no longer just a missing person. They knew something darker was at play. When Lieutenant Dakota Black got the call, she didn't hesitate. She grabbed her gear, her tracking partner Haven, the K9, and sped to the scene. Her mission was to find Makayla. Whatever it took, and whoever didn't want her found. A bolo went out for a bald man in a white truck. Tips flooded in, but none matched. Meanwhile, volunteers searched in cold rain, mud, thick woods, but one person that never helped was Frank. On day 5, everything changed. 2 family members were searching along a ditch when a strong, foul odor stopped them in their tracks. They followed it into the brush, down a slope, and towards a drainage pipe. Inside that pipe, the tin horn, they saw a hand. It was Makayla, wrapped in carpet, shirt pulled over her face, one sock left on her foot, the one with teddy bears. Her life stolen, her body hidden, her family shattered. Dakota refused to leave her side. She said it was one of the hardest scenes she's ever worked, and she's worked a lot. She and Makayla were the same age. Both had survived abusive relationships. She said, with tears in her eyes, "It could have been me." When the coroner's van took Makayla away, her mother chased after it, crying that her daughter wasn't alone. Dakota said that moment lit a fire inside her. She was not going home until justice came. Detectives zeroed in on Frank. Everything pointed to him. The shell casings, the recently fired gun, his contradictions, his emotionless behavior, along with his refusal to search for his wife. Meanwhile, family said Makayla would never agree to an open marriage, and Frank had been cheating for months, messaging women even the day Makayla died and during her funeral. He was actually sending photos of himself to other women in the suit that he was wearing to Makayla's funeral. Talking about a scumbag. Detectives recovered deleted photos from Frank's own phone. Makayla entered the home that day, staying only 14 minutes, leaving, and a final image of Frank standing in the doorway. Detectives believe it was moments before he walked to her home and killed her. A bullet with her hair attached was later found inside the wall. Frank claimed Makayla texted him later that night, but detectives found both her phones in his bedroom. He had switched her SIM card into an old phone and messaged himself pretending to be her. It was all staged. A Walmart receipt found on the property led detectives to footage of Frank buying bleach, ammonia, and a mop. Crime scene cleanup, not very smart there, Frank. Matching carpet from a neighbor matched what she was wrapped in. Fresh tire tracks showed a vehicle backed up to her small home. Then came the breakthrough. Her blood was found on Frank's boots. It was over. 38 days after Makayla was reported missing, close to midnight, a special ops team moved in. Frank was arrested. Detective May called Makayla's family, finally able to let them know that justice had started. Frank eventually accepted a plea deal for life without parole. Makayla's mother was devastated. She wanted a harsher sentence. But to honor her daughter, she created the Purple Butterfly Foundation for Domestic Violence Victims. Dakota says she will carry this case forever. Makayla Meave was a daughter, a sister, a mother, a teacher's aide, and a protector of children. Her life mattered. Her story matters. If you or someone you know is in danger, please reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 or text START, S-T-A-R-T, to 88788. Thank you for joining me tonight in the Velvet Room, where every story has a voice. Please like, subscribe, and share to keep Makayla's memory alive. Until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and take care.